Welcome to Innovation Explorers. Experience the captivating realm of innovation, design, science, and technology. Elon Musk's revolutionary new engine will change the game. Is the Bugatti Chiron the quickest automobile in the world? Out of 5 races, the fastest car in the world has lagged behind Tesla's most recent sedan. This Tesla T-shirt won 4-2. Think about that. How is it therefore possible? How did Tesla manage to build a sedan that is faster than a supercar? The amazing engines in Tesla cars are only as strong as their engine. The Tesla Plaid is no different, and you can find its engine almost everywhere. On its floor, you can frequently find different EV engines. The powertrain refers to this foundation. Consider it the motherboard of an electric car since, unlike all previous Tesla models and other EVs, both the batteries and the motors are located here. The motors are without a doubt the most crucial component of an EV in the Model S Plaid. The powertrain of the Plaid includes 3 new carbon-wrapped motors, but more on that in a moment. Its carbon-wrapped motors are primarily responsible for its astonishing acceleration. But wait a moment before we start using phrases that you might or might not understand. In order to fully understand why electric motors are so fantastic, I believe it's crucial that we review the fundamentals of what motors are and how they work in electric vehicles. An electric motor employs electromagnetic to transform electrical energy into mechanical energy in order to move objects. The rotor and the stator are 2 different types of magnets found inside an electrical motor. The stator is a curved, stationary magnet that surrounds the other magnet like a shield. The rotor is represented by the other magnet, which is moving. If you are familiar with how magnets function, this rotor may change the charges or polarity of its ends when it is wrapped in a metallic coil. Then you are aware that they behave differently depending on the charges on either magnet's end. Now, in the realm of EVs, when this electromagnetic rotor is positioned on an axis within a stator, its polarity interacts with the rotor's polarity and causes the latter to spin. This rotational velocity is known as an RPM, or revolutions per minute. This serves as a gauge for how many rotations the rotor completes in a minute, which is frequently closely related to the vehicle's speed. The strength of the electromagnetic field, the speed at which the rotor can spin, and the RPM all increase as the electrical current flowing into the motor increases. In a nutshell, it is how motors operate. You won't get lost, but it's a condensed version, and I've skipped over a lot of material. Let's now discuss the unique carbon-wrapped motor found in the Plaid. Tesla has been adamant about updating the engine of their lineup for a very long time. The dual motor was a characteristic of previous Tesla automobiles, including the Model S. The new vehicle, however, has a brand new tri-motor powertrain that consists of 1 motor up front and 2 motors in the rear. The new power plant is an amazing engineering achievement, and neither it nor its parts were produced easily. Elon Musk claimed that the powertrain in the Model S Plaid contained new battery packs, although they aren't actually brand new. The original idea was to combine a structural battery pack with the framed 4,680 batteries that Tesla had been planning to produce with Panasonic for years. The year 2020 arrived, which would have prevented these batteries from achieving the incredible performance that the Plaid presently possesses. Tesla was obliged to recall and recycle the 1865 cell that was used in the initial Roadster because the epidemic blocked supply lines and the demand to produce the Plaid reached such frenzied heights. they succeeded somehow. Since the Plaid Model S runs on what you may term a single-speed transmission, and because this eliminates any gear reductions, one of the more impressive achievements of the engine, outside the battery cell, has to be its motors. The motors may spin at up to 20,000 RPM and function at very high speeds. The Tesla is able to travel from 0 to 200 miles at a single speed thanks to its extraordinarily quick motor rotation. And even more astonishingly, it is capable of holding those high speeds for extended periods of time. But this raises more concerns. We know that the rotor expands at high rotational speeds, and that the centrifugal force generated at those rates should readily uncoil the rotor's coils, rendering the vehicle inoperable or even hazardous. Elon Musk had a response for this, and another thing we're quite pleased of is the new carbon-sleeved rotors for the motor. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first production electric motor to have this type of rotor made of carbon. Due to the vast differences in the rates of thermal expansion between carbon and copper, this is a highly challenging task. In light of what Elon stated, the 3 rotors found inside the Plaid's motors are carbon-wrapped. Recall how I stated coils became electromagnets when they are wrapped around a rotor. Elon claims that in order to create an electromagnetic field that was exceptionally effective, a machine that wrapped carbon on the rotor at extremely high pressures had to be designed. He claims that this was quite difficult. Carbon fiber is a particularly resilient substance. It is 5 times as strong as steel and expands at a considerably slower rate than steel, keeping its shape even when temperatures soar. But this brings up still another issue that we have only briefly touched on. So far, the carbon covering works well to keep the rotor in place, but it does nothing to reduce heat, and you can bet there will be a lot of heat when a rotor is whirling at 20,000 RPMs. Fortunately, the Tesla team handled this problem much more quickly than we did. Overheating is one of the few things that directly affects how well a vehicle's engine performs, and for the engine to operate at its best, the vehicle needs a competent thermal management system. The battery pack and the motors must both maintain proper temperatures. The power of the Tesla Model S's initial iteration would be substantially reduced after just a few quarter-mile runs in order to prevent the battery and motors from overheating. However, the Model S's thermal management mechanism has improved with the iteration prior to the Plaid. We also have the newest and best heat pumps, which are essentially the automotive HVAC system. It has a 30% better cold weather range and uses 50% less energy to maintain freezing temperatures within the cabin. Therefore, there won't be much degradation in the cold. Elon also mentions the radiator, which is 2 times larger than previous versions and is one of the key elements in how the Plaid can repeatedly travel from 0 to 60 without burning up. I may have hinted at it at the beginning of this video, but I feel like we should go into more detail now that we know how fast the Tesla Plaid Model S is going. Is the engine insane? Understanding the incredible speed of the Plaid needs a brief journey into Tesla's background, so if it doesn't give the car ridiculous speed, we need to start by contrasting this beast with its earlier incarnations. The original Model S is ultimately released in June 2012, much to the surprise of Tesla consumers throughout the world. It is a twin-motor, all-wheel luxury car that can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 40.2 seconds. In 2012, an EV wasn't designed to reach that kind of speed. So, at the time, Operating a Model S was comparable to using nuclear weapons to fight in the American Civil War. Tesla, though, wasn't done yet. By 2015, they started offering updates with these of a grandmother indulging her favorite nephew for Thanksgiving. Automobile aficionados were so enthralled by the improvements that Business Insider published this piece in which they created unending lines of admiration for the already amazing Model S. You can't blame them. The Model S is pushed from 4.2 seconds for the 0 to 60-second sprint to 3.8 seconds by one of the upgrades known as the Insane Mode. The Crazy Mode is the name of the next significant update. Slashed the time to an astounding 2.8 seconds, breaking the 3-second barrier and moving into the realm of supercars on all four wheels. Speed like this was only available in vintage cars like Ferrari. LaFerrari and the McLaren P1 are both more than $1 million in price. On the other hand, the particular Model S only cost $100,000. The most recent Model S, the Plaid, accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.88 seconds, outpacing the Bugatti Chiron and perhaps all other supercars in existence at the time. Take the word of experts who have tested the Plaid car rather than simply my word for it. Randy Popes, a seasoned race car driver, operated the Plaid on a Laguna Seca course. On the racetrack, the Tesla faced off against real sports cars. The McLaren Center initially seized the lead over the Porsche GT2 RS, a McLaren Senna, and a McLaren P1, but the Tesla swiftly came up and passed it like it wasn't even moving. Pope's statement that the Model S Plaid felt just as swift when it had a full charge while having just 34 charges left was cited in a report on the race. This means that even when the battery condition degrades, the Tesla Plaid will maintain a high speed across considerable distances with no power loss. If you are unaware, I'll let you know. The Tesla supercar is not the plan. Their second, more premium product, the Roadster, is the rightful owner of that title. The Ford or luxury vehicle from Tesla is called the Plaid Model S. A family car with luxury functionality. Although it may drive like a McLaren, it won't draw attention. The Plaid is not a sports vehicle, despite the fact that it has an excellent sound system, a cutting-edge infotainment system with PS5-level computational capacity, and will eventually have complete self-driving capabilities when Tesla releases software updates. It only has a single engine,